family, welcome back to the Nesian Money Show. Before we get started today, I just want to encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button. Well, today, guys, I'm very, very privileged and honored to have some very amazing and special guests with us today, leaders in the accounting world here in Western Sydney, and impart some valuable knowledge and information. Today, I've got Kris Prasad, Managing Partner of Pherrus Financial, and I've got Kelepi Korodrau, Partner, Fiji. Welcome to the show, guys, and it's a pleasure and an honor to have you guys on here today.
No worries. Thank you for having us, Joe.
Kris, so just let's how did we meet? How did we meet, Kris? Do you remember?
Yeah, we met through mutual clients. I think we saw each other here and there.
Yeah.
We didn't really connect for maybe about 5-6 years.
Yes.
But we knew of each other. And then I think we just heard of what each other are doing in the community and so forth. And then we just sort of started connecting.
Yeah, it's amazing because you know me. It's reaching out to an accountant, like especially someone your guys' tier. It's sometimes daunting and confronting, you know. And then I think when I came across your name, I said, "Oh, I think he's from Fiji. I gotta reach out to this guy and pick his brains." And you know, he's running such a successful business that I think you know, let's see if we can do some work together or maybe help collaborate to serve our people, you know?
Yeah, very much so. We heard about you too. I remember ourselves discussing in the office.
Yeah.
It's like, Joe Swami. But then when you look at his picture, it's a bit different, this fella. He's like, oh, brother, we know this guy.
Kelepi, yourself, you grew up in Fiji?
Thank you, Joe. Yes, thank you for having us. Yes, so in terms of personal background, born and bred in Fiji. All my primary school and secondary school education, and then privileged to come across, got educated here in Australia.
Beautiful. Kris, so you grew up in Western Sydney?
Yes, I
tell
was
us a little bit about
born in Fiji.
Yeah.
Came over when I was about 3 years old. Grew up in Western Sydney, between Mount Druitt and Parramatta.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you went to school out here, Mount Druitt? Or?
No, I went to school in around Parramatta. Moved around a little bit.
Yeah. And any siblings, family?
Yes, 3 sisters, 1 brother.
Yeah.
That's all we know about right now.
Yeah. And Kelepi, so how did you get into accounting? Like what sort of led you down this path?
Yeah, so basically, at high school, I had a mentor at school back in Pherrus Brothers High School. My accounting teacher back then sort of saw the interest, and then he advised that I go down. It was Brother Paul, one of the famous brothers out of Pherrus Brothers High School, is the sort of the reason down. And then obviously after that, just I followed through the systems of getting that first degree, progressing.
Beautiful. Kris, so Pherrus, the name Pherrus, where does that come from? And tell us a little bit about that. So unique, you know, us islanders with the name, you know, names are so important for us.
Yes.
You know, if you're born on a Monday, you could be called Monday. If you are, like, you know.
Understood. Thank you, Joe. So Pherrus actually comes from Latin, right? So it's spelled F-E-R-U-S. Pretty much what it is it's the way we handle and operate for our clientele. So loosely translated from Latin, it's literally translated to wild, untamed beast.
Wow.
Meaning, when we fight for our clients, when we serve our clients, that's the way we operate, yeah? It's non-stop. We have to complete what.
Damn. That's an amazing name. Wow, that makes a lot of sense now, and I can see it. So what was behind Pherrus when you, like, what drove you to start Pherrus?
I started Pherrus as I was working for a firm, and I saw that I could hopefully do this for myself one day and not someone else. Yeah, like we all try to. You go and you work in a trade, whether it be electrician, a plumber, or what have you, right? Even mortgage broking. And you see an opportunity and you think, if I do this right and I learn as much as I can learn, maybe hopefully I can do this one day for myself, help my family back home. So that's what really drove me to start it up.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about what your firm does and sort of the people you serve? Like what sort of, yeah.
Okay. So we're a mid-tier accounting firm. We've got team here in Sydney. We've got team here in Fiji Islands in Suva. We've got team in Philippines and some in India as well. Our main base is Suva. What do we focus on? We're focusing on small, medium enterprise. What does that mean? That means small business. So that's turnover from 100,000 to up to about 50 million. Yeah. What we do is we focus on improving procedures, improving cash flow, improving the methodology of how you're doing things. Generally, what happens in business is you get so busy that you got no time for paperwork, your taxes fall behind, and then you get a big tax bill at the end of the year and you don't want to answer your accountant's phone call, right? That's generally what happens. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to assist people to understand why this is happening in the sense of why am I accumulating this debt? And it's all about structuring. So if you have the right structure, you can assist with taxation. Yeah, sometimes, example, I've had clients that are doing like 800K, no accounting advice at all. Yeah, you just give the zero file or your paperwork to the accountant. They just do their thing. There's your bill. Thank you, bye. No advice. And the problem is, small and medium enterprise think that's normal, where it's not. Yeah, so what we try to do is we try to meet with our clients that need it every quarter. I'm available pretty much 24/7. If I don't call you back within the dates, within the 24 hours. Yeah, so you've got to be there, number one. Number two, it's about education. So what we do is we'll come in and go, okay, do you think you're making money? Yeah, I'm making money. But then when we give them the tax bill, they go, no, I didn't make that much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then what it is this. The biggest disconnect, Joe, is people have to understand that your personal living expenses, so your dinners, your kids' school fees, yeah, your personal vehicle, your home loan repayment, generally speaking, that's all your profit.
Yeah.
So you are making.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's the big disconnect.
Yeah.
And then we get a big bill and we think, why is this happening?
We're living beyond our means. We're spending more than we're actually making. Or?
No.
Oh.
What we're doing is we're not appreciating how the system works and structuring ourselves correctly.
Ah.
I'll give you an example, right? So, example, you've got a husband and wife team. They've got a company, right? And through that company, they take wages. So what happens is you pay as you go withholding tax, right? So see how you have a job and they withhold some tax?
Yeah.
The company has to do that for you too,
Yes.
right? Then you also have to pay superannuation on top of that. So if you haven't projected that from the start,
Yeah.
that's just a smack in the face every quarter.
Yeah.
So then with the right structuring, example, if you had a discretionary family trust per se, depending on your own personal circumstances, you may not have to withhold that at the company level or the trust level. You withhold it at the bottom by paying an installment. So it's all about managing cash flow.
Yeah.
And then understanding how to structure the business to make sure that you've got more in your pocket and also paying your tax.
Yeah. Okay. So for the guy starting on, like he's got to 100K.
Yes.
You know, what's the first step for him? Like, what's the first step for him? For the guy 100 to 300K he's earning. Yeah.
So what we do is,
Yeah.
example, you've come in, this is my income, this is this. First things first, it's going to take anybody that's going to give you proper advice at least 6 to 9 months to give you specific advice.
Oh, because they get to know your situation?
Have to.
Yeah.
Have to.
Okay.
Because you may have a different family, you may have different needs, you may have different community
Yeah.
items that you have to deal with and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happens with that person on the 100K is we give them a personal living expenses questionnaire.
Yeah.
And we go, tell us your income, tell us your expenditure, everything. Whether it's personal loans, whether it's school fees, whether it's holidays, whether it's drinking or gambling, cigarettes, whatever. Then from there, we calculate, this is what you need to survive. Now, how much are you making? So what's happening here? So then one thing has to happen. Yeah? Well, two options. Either you increase the income or you manage your expenses better.
Yeah.
So that's the first realization.
Yes.
Then it comes down to, okay, so what's your plan for the next 12, 24, and so 12 months? 24 months and 5 years. Yeah, so 60 months. What's your plan? Generally speaking, a lot of people don't have a plan. Why? Because we're so busy with our day-to-day lives. And then on a Saturday night or a Sunday night, you're sitting there trying to do your books and this and that, yeah? And then you've got kids, it just doesn't work. The amount of time that you need to run an efficient business and manage your books, you need outside help.
Yeah, you do, 100%. That's very interesting. It's so insightful the way you explain it. It's like it's simple, but it's easy to understand, which is like that's what we're all about. So growing up starting Pherrus, did you have anyone you looked up to help you start the business or to that drove you maybe influenced you?
Yeah, so look, we come from Fiji, right? So even if when I used to go back as a kid and so forth, I'd see my grandfather, my father, we come from a sugarcane farming background.
Yeah.
So one thing that's like breathing there is discipline, huh?
Wow.
Wake up, do this, and it's hard labor, it's not easy work.
Yeah.
And then when you see your elders in your family go through that, and then you ask yourself, okay, so I have to wake up at 4 o'clock and catch a bus, or I have to wake up at 4 o'clock and start cutting cane, which one would you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you remember where you come from and what your family has gone through, that's your biggest drive, in my personal.
Amen, man. I think it's something that resonates with me. That's probably one of my drivers too. Seeing my parents' hard work and sacrifice, even they didn't have much, but just their effort. And I think that's something for us to be able to honor in what we do today. And repay and make a better future for our children. So that's it's amazing. Yeah. So Kris, what inspired you, and why is helping the Pacifica community so close to your heart?
Okay, thank you. So we all generally come from humble beginnings. Being first-generation migrant from the Fiji Islands, attending school and so forth from scratch here, and having to adapt to the massive cultural differences. With all that happening and remembering my roots and where we come from, I knew I had to do something to help my family and myself for a better future. I started out in the mailroom at 17 and a half years old. And by the time I was 20, I was junior partner, attracting my own clients and so forth. And helping the Pacifica community is aligned with Pherrus's values, as we are from this community. And we take great pride in helping our people start their businesses, then assisting them to buy their first and their second home. It's something very close to our heart, and it really drives us each and every day.
Kris, when we go this and we talk about our people, because I often think to myself, because we want to be, Australia is naturally warm to us. We're friendly with everybody. So in terms of inclusivity, I know you deal with a lot of different ethnic groups and businesses.
How we met?
Yeah, how we met. Yeah, through a Lebanese, two Fijians meeting. You meet another Fijian through a Lebanese. But how do we not exclude other people but still embrace ourselves? How do we not? Because I feel like we keep labeling Pacific. I'm doing it. I don't know if it's coming from a trauma kind of background or whatever, but I don't really want we want to be inclusive because we serve everyone. You serve everyone. I serve everyone.
Yes.
But what's the different? What separates? I don't know if you understand the question. So just because we keep saying Pacific, are we excluding ourselves from being included?
No, it's all about identifying that's who we are, that's where we come from.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we are in a multicultural country, right?
Yes.
So we are included.
Yeah.
The only people that disclude us is ourselves.
Yes.
If we have that mentality of thinking, then that's how you're discluding yourself.
Okay, so it's okay to say Pacific because, I've just been having this wrestle in my mind about, are we Pacific? Are we, when we label ourselves a Pacific, it's like we're down, we're always talking down to about ourselves. Do you know what I mean, Kelepi? Why is our habits of money poor? But it's not. Is that the way I shouldn't be phrasing it like that? Hey, we shouldn't be talking like that, right?
All it is respectfully, we need that education, we need that guidance.
Yeah.
And once we know, like anybody, any walk of life, any background, then that's the change.
Yeah. Is our culture, how is our culture affecting our psychology of money? Or how does it affect? Kelepi, would you?
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I think first of all, going back to the previous question,
Yeah.
and that's why it's so relevant to have a forum like this,
Yeah.
because this is where the transition. So once the average Pacific Islander gets on a platform like this, it will change how they perceive, how they utilize money, and then that's when you'll start to get that change happening.
Yeah.
Now, to the second part of the question, in terms of our psychology around money, we might be a bit different like that. I think like a lot of other ethnic cultures, not on us as Pacific Island. I would say like we sort of like live in two cultures all at the same time,
Yeah.
which is very normal. So you obviously have your own personal background and the culture around the Pacific Islands as a culture, and that comes with certain traditions, obligations, as we all know. And then obviously you've got the Western culture in terms of personal financial obligations and things that come with that. You know, having kids, buying a property, the rest of it, as we all know. So then what happens is very basically, you sort of get caught up in this this struggle, this personal struggle, this mental struggle in terms of the priorities in life, in terms of what should I be utilizing my hard-earned funds from.
Wow.
Because like everyone else on this table, like we've all got families back home as well. Got to think about that, and it's not just about you. So, and that's what I believe that this forum is about. It's about then imparting that education on them, giving them some basic tools, like insurances and things like this, so that then they're able to manage their personal funds a lot better.
Yeah. And it's weird because, when we start talking about things like insurances, accounting, I think in our minds, all we think is price,
we all shy away from these conversations.
Yeah. And they think, what's he trying to sell me?
Yeah.
So how do we break that stigma, or how do we overcome so that we can move forward, some of these roadblocks in our minds? Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah.
Two ways, right? Exactly the way you run your business as well. So the way you run your business is you're very inviting.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're coming, okay, it's going to be $500 for this meeting. You're just going, no, come.
Yeah.
Let's just have the conversation.
Yes.
A lot of the time, so within our organisation at Pherrus, we do the same thing. Whether you're doing 100K or you're doing 100 million K, 100 million, right?
Yeah.
What will happen is, if you've come through a referral or if there's no direct advice needed and you just want to have that conversation, we'll do that complimentary. So then people come and they get comfortable. What it is unfortunately, within industries, and especially financial services, there's a lot of salesmen out there. Yeah, unfortunately, they are some people that are a bit shady and so forth. And then it's like this, bad word spreads a lot quicker than a good word.
Yeah.
So we have to overcome that by just being inviting and say, what's your issue? Come, we'll have a chat. I'll give you some options like we've done with a couple of people already.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Thank
and
you.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can overcome this.
Yeah.
But people also have to be a little bit more open just to have that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, I think maybe, the onus is on, because we like you said, we're inviting. Now it's up to the community or the individual to take action, right? Take the initiative as well, engage.
Correct. But
Yeah.
just like yourself, you do your follow-ups, you do, are you okay? Do you need some help? Just because it's a big thing, especially within the Pacifica community, you say, I need help.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What are some of your favorite qualities from our culture, or from your culture, from that you grew up with, that you feel like can help to propel our financial lives forward? Like the good qualities from our backgrounds. Or
Number one, resilience.
Yeah.
Resilience.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've seen from people that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars is that resilience.
Yeah.
And we have the ability to be very, very disciplined. It just depends on our life's choices. They're the two major ones. And then obviously the kind heart, the good soul, yeah, the naturally open culture and so forth. Within business, that suits very, very well.
Yeah.
All it is we've just got to have that self-belief, you know?
Yeah.
Like how you were saying before, unfortunately, a lot of our people put themselves down just automatically.
Yeah.
But it's not about that. We have to overcome that and then we can execute.
Yeah. Humble confidence. Hey, we need to have humble confidence.
Keep the feet on the ground.
Yeah. Nice. And that, so I think this brings me to, while we're on this topic, is the light of life of recovery in Fiji. Can you tell me a little bit about that, Kris? Like,
Yes.
an amazing project, man. You guys are going to hear about this now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Light of Life Recovery Fiji is something that's separate to Pherrus, right? Obviously, we as individuals are involved, but all it is literally helping our people back home in Fiji and also in the South Pacific, which we are looking into as well. Namely, currently we're speaking to a Tongan gentleman, one gentleman from the Torres Strait. So you can log on to the website, lightofliferecovery.com, and literally you've got two options right now, English or Itoke,
Yeah.
right? So it's about drug rehabilitation, drug education. Unfortunately, back home, there's less education. Our elders have never seen these sort of things, so they don't know what to do, how to do. And over the last, 10, 12 years going back home, I've personally seen, our brothers and sisters, some of them decline and some of them lose their way. So what Light of Life is about is it implements the 12-step program in terms of drugs. We've got counsellors. So literally, if you're an elder, you don't know what to do with a younger member of your family or community, you can reach out. There's someone on the other line. If they don't answer straight away, they'll get back to you by Viber or WhatsApp, right? They'll counsel you on how to deal with that situation. If you're on drugs and you want to get off, contact, they'll counsel you on how to get out of that situation. Or if you're a community leader or a teacher or an educator or what have you that wants to understand and be also able to deliver that message, that's what it's all about.
Oh man, that's amazing, Kris. We commend you, man, for the work, the hard work. I know from running a full-time business and then doing that, Kelepi. Well done, man, and keep up the good work. And if you guys want to jump on board, reach out to Kris and Kelepi. So he's want to assist in any way. Yep.
Thank you.
Kris, so what do you see in property that makes it such a great vehicle for generational wealth or creating generational wealth?
Thank you, Joe. So one thing within Australian taxation law, right? If your property, generally speaking, it's not tax advice. Yeah, we got to
yeah, disclaimer.
Yeah. But what it is this: generally speaking, if your property is under 2 hectares, right, and it's residential, that's your primary place of residence. Yeah. And let's look at the economy. If we look at property prices over the last 15, 10 years, they've inclined. They've gone up. Yes.
Yes.
Not saying that's a prediction on the property market, but it's a good investment. Why? Dependent on rates and so forth, but that property goes up in value. It's under 2 hectares, right? So, example, you bought 5-6 years ago at 1.2. That property might be worth 1.9, 2.1 now. Yeah.
Yep.
So, all that money and equity that you've generated, because it's your primary place of residence and it's under 2 hectares, is tax-free. So then what do? You either speak to someone like you, refinance that property, take the equity, buy the next one. And that's how you start building it up. That's one way. Another way what people do is they keep on upgrading their home. But you can't do it as if it's a business, because then it'll be taxed. But generally speaking, people move every 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
Families grow, situation changes, etc. So then 5 to 7 years, if your property's gone up 300 to 500K, which it has in the past, right? Yeah.
Yes.
All that money's tax-free. So then, as you'd know, that is an extra deposit to reduce the next property price. So your loan balance would be roughly the same, but the equity, because of the property price growing, you're paying more of a deposit. So your expenses are the same, but you're upgrading the value of the asset.
Yeah. You're building your wealth within the property.
Correct. I've seen clients from 18, 19 start, from a unit, and now their property's worth about 8, 9 million. Living in places like Strathfield and so forth.
Yeah, because you get all these gurus online, you know, with all the hype and the 10 properties, trust structures, discretionary trust, courses. What do we do, man? How do we shut out the noise? Like and then, you know, like
Thank you, Joe. You know what the trick is? Keep it simple.
yeah,
We don't need to have a spider web of technique.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All it is have a plan, speak to someone like yourself, because that's what you do,
yeah.
and make that plan and stick to it. What it is this: people, the biggest disconnect is offset accounts, right?
Yeah.
And then, as you'd know, right? So if I get all my salary and everything deposited into my offset account, doesn't that help the life of my home loan? It reduces it. So then I'm paying more. Well, I'm getting charged less interest. It's just those little tricks to start with. What we have to do is we have to get comfortable with what's happening and then take steps.
Yeah, because people are in a rush, right? Everyone wants to pay it off, and because they sell it 7 years, 10 years. Yeah, it's possible, but just maybe the first year, focus on that, right? Rather than go to the look at the 7 years,
Correct.
and then it becomes too hard because you're thinking too far ahead, right?
Exactly. It's like this. Hypothetically, if you had you and your wife had all your income deposited into your offset account, right? And then you'd pay as many bills on the credit card as you could. And then at the end of the month, you do an automatic direct debit from the offset account to pay off the credit card so you don't pay interest, right? Budget, organize yourself. But what's happening is you're borrowing money from the credit card. You may be accumulating some points, Qantas frequent flyer or what have you. Plus, you've got more money in that offset account. Interest is calculated daily. So the more money you have in that offset account, the less interest you pay and the quicker you pay that loan off. They're the little things we just need to do.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. What's one simple money tax tip what's one simple tax or money tip that could help some of the workers who are the backbone of this economy, like say our hospitality workers, our Uber drivers, our tradies, you know, who
Budget and forecast.
Yeah, okay.
The biggest thing that we see is, I wasn't told about this.
Yeah.
What do I have to pay that for?
Yeah.
Why do I have to pay GST? Yeah. Biggest thing is we need a budget and forecast, because unfortunately we start business and money's coming in, everything's getting paid. We haven't paid our tax yet because it's next year. And then because we haven't budgeted for it or we haven't forecasted for it, that's where the disconnect is. And that's where we find ourselves in trouble.
So So really, before anyone who wants to be self-employed embarks on this sort of journey, they've got to really have a bit of a plan, right? Rather than just jumping into it. And then,
You know the saying, you don't plan, you plan to fail.
well, yep, okay, yeah. Because it's interesting how many people come and they get to a certain state, like what we were saying before,
Yes.
and then by then it's like, what? Why do I have to pay this? Why do I have to? You didn't plan.
I'll just add one more thing.
Yeah.
There. And whilst for the average person that sounds very daunting,
Yeah,
that's where financial advisors like us come through. So we've literally helped many of our clientele start up from one property and maybe just being a tradie. Doesn't really matter how small you are.
Yeah.
We're assistants, like that's part of the service line that we provide in terms of the guidance, in terms of understanding your personal situation.
Yeah.
So whilst it's daunting at the start, this is something that's part of our service line. So it's all fits in naturally.
So they're not used to it, but we are.
But we are.
yeah.
We do that.
Yeah, because you see so many, right? So you guys, okay. At what point should like somebody who's running a side hustle when do they take it to the next level?
You mean, by example, leaving their place of employment and starting that business full time?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so first things first, make sure the budget's there, the forecast, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, it's like this. Example, you might be earning $800 to $1,300 a week as your employment. And then once your side hustle starts being able to match that, that's when you disconnect. But you don't do it on the first week or the first month.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that's happening on the regular. And once it is happening, then you have confidence.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Maybe the first 6 months are going to be very, very hard, but then you're moving on stable ground.
Yes.
instead of us just jumping in and hoping for the best, the amount of pressure on somebody when they don't know how money's going to come and how they're going to pay bills, that's the biggest pressure.
Yeah,
And that's how families break up. That's how people, start drinking and losing their minds because of all that pressure. All it is just be organized, go through that, 3 to 6 months of proper hard work, less sleep, right?
Yeah.
Working 2 jobs. But then once your business is stable, you can move.
Yeah. Insightful, man. Awesome. We hear the term generational wealth a lot. What does that actually mean to you, Kris, like having generational wealth?
Generational wealth, so my understanding of generational wealth is wealth passed down from generation to generation. Unfortunately, we're not that blessed, right?
Yet.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're here to do it, right?
Yeah.
For the next generation.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean much. Why? Because, and I'm talking from personal experience advising and seeing families and clients, sometimes when you don't go from those grassroots, you can't operate.
Yeah.
So it's like this, when you've dealt with chaos and you've got bills coming up and your mortgage and so forth, and you've got to go work that extra 3-4 hours or chase up those leads to get bills in, you know what to do in hard times. If you haven't gone through the hard times and it's just been all good, when the hard times come, you know the answer,
Yeah,
right?
100%. Kelepi, from a cultural lens, I guess, what does it mean to you, like generational wealth? What is that?
So the starting point's the same.
Yeah.
That's a new concept for us.
Yeah.
But moving forward, like especially for our younger people that have grown up in Australia, generally in the Western world, it means coming onto a platform like this and reshaping. It's going to be personal, but what it is getting onto a platform or a developing personal, I would say, personal. Let's take that again.
Yeah.
But what it is tough. For from a culture.
Yeah. Come.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was talking off camera.
Yeah,
I was talking off camera.
Hold on.
Got it.
Brother,
Back
you
on.
want camera?
Yeah.
From a cultural
Yeah.
perspective, it's the challenges for our younger people developing the financial discipline to be able to then follow through on their objectives, on their personal financial objectives. So so like Kris said, that we often come from those humble beginnings. And what we do have as a strength from a cultural perspective is that resilience that we talk about, and that's something that that once you start on the incline of personal wealth journey, can only be a strength because you've seen or you've got the flexibility to handle those scenarios where you possibly haven't dealt with before. But just because of your personal background, you've got the personal that flexibility to be able to go through the punches.
So at a starting point, like so people talk about having 6 months worth of expenses, right?
Yes.
As a buffer, like
Yes.
should be your as a starting point.
Yes.
Would that be a good sort of benchmark to work off to say?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
But we've also got to take in reality.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Example, if just say it's $10,000 a month, that's $60,000.
Yeah.
So if I'm talking about our source and how we operate, if you said to me, okay, so you need 6 months ahead just sitting in the bank account before you start, I'll be like, no, man, just give me 2 months, I'm going. Yeah, because what it is time's ticking.
Yeah.
But it's about understanding that, do I have regular income? So it's like this. Say, for instance, you do maintenance, plumbing maintenance, right? And you've got strata work and you've got real estate work. And then you measure for a year that's coming in on the regular. Yeah. So you have your average. And then you discount that down by 20 or 30%. Be conservative. If you can see that's going to work, then it will push you towards executing quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's about cash flow as well.
Yeah.
It's not about just having money sitting in a bank account. It doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That makes I guess you serve a variety of clientele, and I think you focus a lot. There's ones from 1 million to 50 million. What's the main difference between the clients that you serve from the 0 to 1 million range, and then the 5 million to the 50 million range? What would be the main difference? Like
In terms of operation, in
between
mindset,
mindset, operation, what?
focus,
Yeah. Oh,
focus.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what it is when it comes down to the numbers,
yeah,
that's how everything runs.
yeah,
You don't look if you've just got money in the bank account today. You're paying your bills. Can you pay your bills tomorrow? Is everything working? And it's where people disconnect the most is, and this is the people that hit from the 1 to 5 million,
yeah,
and then they start getting to the 10s and the 20s and the 30s. Is it's not just about living a really comfortable lifestyle and having good money and good business. You've got to grow wealth.
yeah,
Because when you're in business, things like superannuation and so forth, and I'm talking in the past and so forth, it's been ignored.
yeah,
Or people pay as least as possible.
yeah.
So then you've got to generate your assets and your wealth creation on the outside as well.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I
answers the
got it.
question?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. So focus, man. That is clear because it's easy, right? Once you get to a certain level, to start enjoying your life a little bit.
We
Then
all
you get
do
too
it.
comfortable, and then you got to get back on the track.
Correct. You've got to, and that's why if you've got a budget, you've got targets.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
example,
planning, so
yeah.
important. Yeah,
example, I've got to get a new customer every week. That's my target. And then you work out that new customer's worth X, and then your business will grow 5 to 10% every year. You just focus on, 1 to 3 things in
Yeah.
business, and the rest will follow.
yeah. Okay. And some of these tools that you've spoken about, these forecasts, these budgets, these spreadsheets. Where can people get some of these tools, or can they access it easily and
Well,
freely?
Yeah, what it is yes, they can access it freely. Openly, it's currently under design. So what will be happening is, and we'll share this with yourself as well, so you can post it on your website, your socials, and so forth. Just budgeting tools, budgeting calculators, and so forth. But openly, the way technology is nowadays, you can literally Google it or AI it and so forth as well. All it is about having a go. There's no right or wrong way about going. It's you got to go forward.
Yes. And Kelepi, what's one piece of money advice you'd give to your younger self?
Okay, so yes, what it is setting that. So I'll just come back to the focus, the idea of
Yeah.
focus. So at a personal level, what that means is setting a set of priorities within your personal financial budget that caters to both your family and what your personal objectives are. So I think that once you have that clear within your own self, then you'll be able to really allocate for things that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And then the hard part, which is sometimes saying no, which is difficult for us. But then if you're focused on your financial objectives, medium and longer term, we have to get into those habits of following through
Yeah.
on our goals. And that's where the focus part comes in.
Yeah, that's interesting because I guess if we can go back to your story when someone dropped that seed in your head about becoming an accountant, you got that you sort of had the
Correct.
the focus, and you've worked yourself all the way to there.
Correct.
Right?
So with that, it started off as a passion. Like I think for us, a lot of small business owners, we get that initial burst of that passionate thing
Yeah.
about something,
Yeah.
trying to fulfill a need, which is something like financial advice, financial literacy is in need everywhere, as much as it is here in Western Sydney as it would be anywhere around the Pacific Islands. But once you've gone past through that passion, you've got to be able to follow through.
Yeah.
That's what the advice I'd give to my younger self.
Yeah, it's like buying a new car, right? You look at it for 5 days, you're taking a 70 grand loan.
Yeah, and then
the payments kick in, eh? The repayments kick in, and then Kris, yourself, what's one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self that people probably could relate to today?
Oh. What would I advise myself? Execute quicker.
Yeah, wow.
So,
Yeah, that's true, man.
yeah.
Every day.
One thing that I've learnt is it's never gonna be perfect.
Yes.
It's never gonna be 100%. If it's 70, hit it, because like it's never gonna be perfect. You know,
Yeah. And
that's
I
what
think
I'd
you just
really.
build that confidence from just trying, eh? Just not resilience, like
Yep,
you said,
Correct.
not giving up. It's just keep trying.
Yeah. As they say,
Yeah.
it's not how many times
Yeah.
you fall; it's how many times you get back up.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. For in your mind, Chris, what does a financially strong, empowered Pacifica a community look like to you? Like what does that sort of concept?
It's one concept that ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
So we have money, we have assets, we can send money back home, we can eat what we want, we can drink what we want, we can go where we want, when we want to.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
I'll
Kelepi?
just add on to that a little bit. I think in terms of from a community level, I think like the various community being able to set up property at a
Yeah.
community level. This is something we've always encountered where at a community level we're always having to look out for hiring venues, things like this.
Yeah.
And what happens is
Yeah.
constantly get shifted
Can
around.
move around, no
Yep.
stability, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
at a community level, that happens a lot. So, from a cultural lens, what it is, once we're all, getting into this journey, then at a community level, we'll be able to, set up our own temple, our own places of worship,
Yeah.
so that that not only strengthens us as a community, but then it has a focal point for community activities and also the development of the next generation coming through.
Yeah, and also community engagement and
Correct.
involving the
And
wider community. And,
yes,
Yeah.
and then thereby just naturally get to have those transactions happening where you are not only developing, and then it evolves into drug awareness and
Yeah.
all those other social economic benefits that come out of property health generation.
Yeah, and that will just naturally have a trickle down effect, I believe,
Correct.
onto say the back to home.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
half of the people living there are often going back from overseas, right? All the expats
Yes.
in Fiji and help building the economy.
Yes.
So Chris, when he's talking about community centers like this and that, non for profit comes to mind. How does a non for profit work, and what like just basically no advice,
Yep.
but just a quick rundown because you would probably have a lot of younger. I know there's a lot of Samoan churches within Sydney. They all have little congregations, and they all run it on their own. But I maybe there's a bigger picture. I don't know that
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, Joe. So what it is generally speaking, non-for-profit. So the big key is it's non-for-profit. It's not about profit.
Yeah.
And there's certain exemptions and subsidies available by way of taxation law, GST. Some non-for-profits can become a charitable institution where they can get deductible receipts. So in other words, if you give them a donation over $2, it's tax deductible, things like that.
Yeah.
So generally you'd be doing that on a support basis. Yeah, so people set up non-for-profits to help community, children, things like
Yeah. So churches usually operate on a non-for-profit sort of model, like
It varies. It
Yeah.
varies. Like
Yeah.
in New South Wales, and there's no right or wrong answer
Yeah.
to this technically, but like very typically, they just get set up as within New South Wales. I can only talk about,
Yeah.
but they get set up as incorporated entities, and then through that they run their community activities.
okay.
Mm.
Kelepi,
Yes.
shame and money. What do you think is the relationship between shame and money, just for in general? People, we all have these issues or this relationship with money.
Yeah. And I thank you for that, Joe. I think, and like I've been talking about, just from a cultural lens, sometimes cultures that we come up with, number one, money is a foreign subject for us, for a lot of us, and that starts that whole. Generically, we're quite hesitant to reach out,
Yeah.
connect, and in this instance, being able to connect. It's then the question of, like, on a personal level, my financial advisor about my house? Should I be
Yeah.
talking to them about, and, but what it is, and that's part of the reason why we are so behind. Oh, I should rephrase that.
No,
It's
not
gonna-
behind, but I know what you
but,
mean. Yeah, yeah,
What part of the reasons as to where we are on a personal financial level, because of just that disability to connect when it,
yeah, yeah,
that's that one. Then number two, the cultural viewpoint is not being able to opening up about those hesitancies, if I may call it that.
yeah,
But what it is from this point, if I'm not able to understand and fully
Yeah.
capture your situation, it's going to be very hard for myself to go in,
yeah,
understand, then help you navigate around your
yeah,
own financial situation. So, like everything else, this is where I bank on that resilience part of the character. I think if you're able to, personal level, if you have that with you, we can start to make those changes,
Yeah.
get those connections with those advisors,
yeah.
and start to see those changes happening naturally, as
Yeah.
it were.
And that's, I think, just so important what you said there, and that's what I've noticed a lot over the years with clients who've got themselves into situations where they shouldn't be in. It's the not having that connection with the advisor. Like what you're saying, you say, come for the first one, let's just talk. There's no pressure, you know.
Yes.
We talk and then you make a decision, you know.
yes.
But it's so important that I think that is key. That's awakening today. Like I think I've spoken it about a few times, but I never really sort of maybe embraced that concept and felt it. Yeah,
And that's happened with our clients.
Yeah.
And it's not just people from the Pacific. It's
yeah, it's
general out
everyone.
there. It's
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
So, like we've helped some clients started off from renting to start,
yeah,
and then over 5, 7, 8 years now, a fully operational company with a property portfolio,
Yeah.
and it's just that obviously that connection.
Yeah.
And then on their side is being comfortable to open up about those things,
Yeah.
so that we can assist them.
That's what it's all about.
yeah,
Generally speaking, what happens is this. We'll get a client in, we'll do a review. So, example, you've got a business. I'll say, okay, send me all the paperwork, give me 5 to 10 days, come in, complimentary. So, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
let's be
yeah,
open.
yeah,
I'll show you what you can do better.
yeah,
I'll show you what you should do. And if not, there's your paperwork. You're with someone good, you're on the right track, thank you. But one thing that we repeat a lot within meetings and so forth is because people ask us, oh, what should I do here? Where should I go? Who should I talk to about a home loan? And one thing that we always repeat is we're not salesmen.
yeah,
So these are your options. So should you want insurance, here's 2, 3 people. You don't want to talk to them and you want to call NRMA, do so. But that's where we've got to level out through that disconnect, yeah? Unfortunately, a lot of people get sold to, like you were saying. And that's why I believe people get more and more shy.
yeah. That's what's been happening in the industry, yeah. And there's so much red tape though around a lot of this stuff, right? So you got to have a certain licenses. I feel like they target a certain bracket of people, like in terms of income, but they try to sell to the ones who can't afford it. I don't know. Is that like what is that all about?
Unfortunately, and this is where, how do we defeat that is we take away the self-interest.
Yeah,
Because generally speaking, if you're a business owner and you're in business, so you're buying and selling and negotiating and hustling every day, right?
yeah,
So if you come to someone and they're just only pushing one product or one person,
yeah,
the first thing that springs into your mind is, okay, so what do you get from this?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And what are you not telling me?
yeah.
So how do we overcome that? Here's 2, 3 contacts.
Yes, perfect. So Chris, so like you've got a diverse range of clients. What are some other investment vehicles apart from property where you've seen families create wealth? I guess business is probably
Yes.
the second one. And what are there
Thank
any
you.
other that sort of
Effective investment within super.
super? Yeah,
There's some funds out there where you don't have to have the money to buy a shopping centre, but you can own a portion of that shopping
yes,
by way of a managed fund.
yeah,
There's vehicles out there where you can put money into weekly and then draw out when your son or your daughter become 21 for their first house deposit. They are vehicles out there. All it is about having the conversation. So there's financial instruments, stocks, shares, crypto, and all this sort of stuff. We've got to be diverse.
Yeah.
Where we hold ourselves back is we just think of one thing.
Yeah.
The true way of investment is multiple, diversification.
Yeah. Diversification. So, Chris, what financial steps should someone take before they speak to a broker?
Talk to the broker.
Yeah.
Because what it is this. Example, if you've got a client and they come to you and say, hey, Joe, I'm on 70,000, my wife's on 50,000, this is our savings and this is our credit card debt. We want to buy our first home. You'll help them understand the plan they have to make to achieve that. Then they go towards that. It may take a year, it may take 2 or 3, but it's a plan. Then they come back to you after that 1, 2 or 3 years. Hi, Joe, I've done it. And then what do? You proceed and you get them what they want.
Yeah. How do you help them in the process? Where do you come into it?
Okay, thank you. So what it is we give them that education. Obviously, we do with people like yourselves. It's all about passing them on to people that are going to look after them genuinely. It's about managing their money, their pocket, and making sure that they do their reviews. Like one thing I've seen with yourself is every 2 or a bit years, you always recheck everybody's home loans and finances to make sure that they're getting the best rate and the best opportunity. That's what it's about. Sometimes you go to someone that's tick and flick, done, you're just a number, and you never get looked after. That's the difference.
Chris, this is a term that we often hear, good debt and bad debt.
Yes.
I want to see what your point of view is on what good debt is and bad debt.
Okay, no problem. Bad debt. We've taken on debt for that $70,000 car.
Yeah.
Does it go up in value? No. What does it do? Get me a couple of looks at the street light and that's it. Yeah, that's bad debt. If I bought a $70,000 van for my business that generated me income, that's good debt. But then again, it's like this. You just don't walk into the car dealership and buy the newest and the shiniest thing. Come into what works. Example, with property and credit cards and personal loans, right? So getting funds or getting debt to support lifestyle and expenditure like that, that's bad debt.
Yeah.
Getting debt for an investment that's going to return you money or give you the opportunity to make more money, that's good.
And risk, how does risk come into this and how do you manage that risk?
In terms of debt?
Yeah.
Again, it's all about the cash flow, it's all about the budget.
Yeah.
So if you're going to buy a rental property, it's not that you just got the deposit and Joe said you can get the home loan. Joe's going to go through and say, okay, but this is your shortfall every month.
Yeah.
How are we going to cover up with this? Then you speak to an accountant and go, okay, that's your shortfall. So then at the end of the year, you'll be entitled to this sort of tax refund. Generally speaking, you can apply to the tax office to reduce the withholding on your wages or your income. Then you're getting that money every week, fortnight or month that you get paid. Then your cash flow goes back up. It's about planning.
And yeah, I noticed the theme in a lot of stuff you're saying. You got to plan really well. Otherwise, you fail to plan, right? You plan to fail.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Very much so. It's like this. When you're cooking,
Yeah.
right? I don't think you, just grab the meat, throw it in and start chopping the onions and the carrots.
Right.
You prepare everything up and then you execute.
Yeah. Why do people not we plan for everything else except for our finances? What is that?
Because it's so daunting.
Yeah.
It's so stressful. And then what it is we have our lifestyle pressures, our family pressures or commitments.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately we leave that to last, but that's what allows us to do everything.
Yeah. Kelepi, how do we start teaching kids about our money? And how do we start having these conversations, especially in some communities such as ours? It's not conversations around money doesn't come natural. How do we, start these conversations?
Yep. I think a couple of things. I think basically in terms of teaching kids, it's about openly getting them into habits quite early. Obvious that back in the day it used to be about putting money in the bank account. Obviously, that was probably when I was a kid. Now it's going to be different. Now it's going to be more about their education. Number one, So primarily having those conversations, then embed behavior
Yeah.
term. Savings openly something previous, but I think like for our next generation, it's more about developing that. Maybe not going for the bike,
Yeah.
but saving up on something that could contribute to their future plans, starting a business. So having those conversations, but then also at a family level, having those, getting those values which contribute to them. But
Yeah.
what I was trying to say is, so there's got to be two things to it. Number one is education,
Yeah.
but getting the right principles,
Yeah.
so that these kids can then grow
Yeah.
and develop the right financial discipline. Move on.
Kris, how can families start having conversations around money? How can we make it part of our daily sort of livelihood or routine, so that it just becomes part of our lifestyle?
Okay, thank you, Joe. Literally, it's about having the conversation. So I completely understand parents might not be wanting to disclose or discuss their personal financial affairs with their children,
Yeah.
but it's not about that. What it is about is discussing your children's financial affairs with them. Yeah. Educating them things like afterpay and so forth. They may be, good now, but in the future, you're going to have to pay it back. Yeah. Getting these small personal loans, these small credit cards, these car finances. That's where the education has to come in. And it's just about having the conversation. One way that I've seen really, really work is if it's doing house errands or so forth, literally 10 or 15% of that money goes away, whether it's in your piggy bank or whether it's in your Dolomites account or what have you. And then getting your children into that routine. And a big thing is monkey see, monkey do saying, right? If they see you conducting that or having those conversations or putting plans together or sitting down and going through your bills, hey, mum, hey, dad, what you doing? I'm just organising the bills for the month and our budget for the month. Then they start thinking. Yeah, so it's not about disclosing your financial kids. What it is about is educating them on this is the processes. Yeah.
Games and stuff like that. How what sort of tool, like playing games with them? Like you often hear Monopoly.
Oh,
and you've
most
got,
definitely, yeah.
I guess the internet these days, man. There's so many
Yes.
tools on the iPad that you could probably download some financial games.
Yeah.
I think on Roblox they play like there's a game called Grow Garden, and they accumulate money and plant vegetables, and it's unbelievable, man. I don't know if you guys. And then my son's like, "Oh, Dad, I made $1 million." I'm like, "Whoa, okay. Should I sell this?" I'm like, "Wow." So I think, I don't know if those tools are good ways of getting them, sort of.
There's no one perfect or correct way to do anything, right? It just depends on what suits you, what suits the child, and what suits the parent as well.
Yeah.
One thing that I've seen very much so is, example, you go through drive-through, you're with your son or your daughter. You've got a bill that comes to $10.50.
Yeah.
You've got $20 in your hand, and then you've got coins in the ashtray. Then you say, okay, so how should you pay? Use the 20 or give them the 20 and a 50-cent coin? Just those small things, and then the mind starts working. Okay, this is money. This is how this works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How can families balance cultural obligations? Often in our communities, giving back is a big thing, and contributing to funerals and gatherings of that nature. How do we balance some of these cultural traditions or habits with financial planning?
Okay, thank you, Joe. Yeah, I think so on a personal level, so you start back to your own objective, what you see yourself. Then out of that, like you'll set your own budget. But when I say that respectfully, because we have to, in some sense, balance time. So what we do encourage is to set boundaries with love, what you can do it on a very practical level is allocate a certain percentage of your income, whether it be weekly or fortnightly, for your expenditure. This way, honor your cultural obligations while you're balancing Western or your personal financial obligations.
Yeah.
As an individual, you'll understand that so long as these outgoings are within your personal financial plan, you can then manage both all at the same.
Yeah, yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. So you know, from this conversation that we've had today, I've you know, the theme has seemed to be, you know, have a strong budget in place or a really good budget in place. Start with the budget and make sure you plan well. I think are the two key things, right?
Yeah.
And then to get to the next level, we got to really put in like focus to be able to grow your family's wealth or achieve the goals that you're sort of wanting to achieve.
Yeah, thanks for that, Joe. I think what it is the basic level. It's like going on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Once you everyone has a plan of they have an idea of where they want to end up, but then putting that address on the GPS system, openly, we all struggle with that.
Yeah.
So, but with tools, terms, budgets, forecasting, and all these fancy words, that's us putting that address onto your.
Yeah.
Once it goes in, then obviously the focus, follow through, getting those little habits right, following through on your cash forecasting. Those are the little things. So yes, it comes back to it. Once you've got that plan on a personal level, put it into your financial GPS, and then the follow through.
Kris Kelepi, man, I want to thank you guys so much for giving us your time today. And I want to thank you for the work that you're doing, not only here, but in the Pacific community. Yeah, man, I really appreciate it. And I'm humbled to have you guys on today. And I look forward to continuing to work with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Nakajo.